Congratulations, Thomas. A goal and 3 points. Was that the perfect way to celebrate your 30th birthday with these West Ham fans?
Oh yeah, thank you. It's great birthday because 30 is like big, and after this I just wanted to win, and with a goal it's even better. So it's nice gift that I could get. Yeah.
The other,
Yes, even for him it's clean sheet, so we can celebrate now because we play football. It's what is our dream, and we got what we wanted.
How important was it for you as a team to back up that win against Arsenal with a win here at home this evening?
Yeah, it was really important because we knew that we played very well Arsenal away, but we need to have this consistent. We wanted to win for our fans at home because the spirits can just grow up, and we just need to build on these results. So I'm so happy.
It's been 7 Premier League matches since Graeme Potter's been in charge. What's the biggest change since he's arrived?
Obviously, it's tough to have this big impact in the half of the season, but I think these last 2 games, what we showed good spirit, good team effort, and then some football style as well. But I can see in the first half time it was a very good performance. The second we did a few mistakes, but still we won 2-0, and it was a great result. So I think that even this can help our manager to believe what we are doing. So we are also grateful for him.
What is the biggest motivation for you as players and the objective for the rest of this campaign now?
Yeah, obviously we know that season is tough this season, but we want to just stay as high as possible. We know that we can challenge with a few big teams. That Manchester United, Tottenham are around us, and even for West Ham fans, it's like big derby with Tottenham. So we want to stay just be better than them.
It's 11 days now until your next Premier League game. Do you think the manager will give you a bit of time off to celebrate your birthday?
we now coming to the changing room, and we all know that we will ask him. So I think he will give us at least the weekend, because we deserve that. So yeah, I think he has to give us days off.
Well, here is a little birthday present for you. You're the man of the match. Congratulations. Well done.
Oh, a lovely birthday present. Not only the goal that was scored first to put them ahead, but he gets man of the match. And you can see how much the win actually meant to Tomas tonight.
He's that type of character. I think, he went through a difficult period. That's for sure. Wasn't scoring the goals that he did when he first came to the club. But what you get from him is this incredible appetite to work. It's something the West Ham fans will love about him. He's got the scars to show how brave he is for the side, and it'll be important for him to get back in the goals. And you could see his role tonight, and what Graeme Potter wants is him getting in the box and leaving Ward-Prowse a little deeper for him to arrive and be dangerous.
Did any of your managers give you time off to celebrate birthdays?
No, certainly not. You have to bring cake in if it's your birthday.
Yeah, you have to, don't you? You have to.
It's the rule.
But it's a lovely way to mark a birthday, though, isn't it? And I know that you said that it wasn't the best, most vintage performance, but the clean sheet matters and the 3 points matter as well.
Yeah, and, the clean sheet, I think, is really important. 2 clean sheets in a row. Although I will say, Areola, that clean sheet bonus is a luxury, I'd say. He didn't have anything to do tonight, and I think that's telling of how poor Leicester were, but also that West Ham solidarity. They fight for each other. Soucek was probably the one that was the catalyst for a lot of that. That's his role in the midfield area. But they were solid tonight. They weren't great, but I think sometimes those solid performances are the ones that actually carry a little further.
Yeah, well, actually, let's now look at Soucek's goal, because it came at a really good time for West Ham. You could kind of feel that they were going to score, but let's look at it from West Ham's angle to begin.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, you can look at the poor defending, but the important thing is the role that Soucek plays. First of all, it's a decent turn and looking to get the ball in the area for Alvarez, the other midfielder, and then he just keeps himself in there like any good attacker should do. Will he put that, and go down as a role he'll show the grandkids? I doubt it, but it doesn't matter.
They all count. But yeah, I mean, the defending's poor. Leicester have so many opportunities to deal with it. Here, Buonanotte, just knock that out. You can see there's 10 Leicester players in the picture. You don't have anyone up high. Why put it there? It allows West Ham to recycle it. They've shown consistently in the last few games, they're defending in the box, they're identifying dangerous positions Faes and Vestergaard there, they should be protecting that central area. That is your job for balls delivered into your box. Protect centrally. Faes is away wandering towards the ball. Vestergaard's sort of in there, outnumbered, just looking, you know, reactive. Those are things that are quite fundamental to defending your box. And away from home, when you're conceding a lot of goals, those are things that they have to be addressed in that, but it doesn't look like they are, because every week it's the same sort of goals they concede.
It's really strange because you would think that it is being addressed in training because, of course, they'll be watching back the matches and they'll be working on these things. So how much do you put this down to Ruud? How much do you have to put it down to the players having to take responsibility on the night and needing that sort of leader to help organise themselves, to being that vocal person in the team?
I mean, you don't make it at Premier League level unless you're a very good player. You don't. So it's not that they can't do the things that they're being asked. There's no doubt that Ruud will have worked on the training pitch, on the setup, on defensive moments and how we deal with them. Once you step onto the pitch, you as a professional and your defensive partners have to take it incredibly seriously, and you can't just wander like they did for the first goal. You can't just wander into an area. You have to be alert and spot danger. I mean, you would know better than I certainly would. As a striker, I'm trying to anticipate. As a defender, that communication has to be key. I don't feel like we saw a lot of that either.
Oh, exactly. And you'll know as well, like, happy days if centre-backs just allow you to just wander towards the goal. It's not like we're looking at really great movement from Soucek or anyone that's moving inside the box to try and create that extra yard. They're just wandering straight in between lines. There's no one getting up close. And that, I think, where you have to build that collective defensive unit. And that's where, you know, we spoke at the start of the game. Who's that person that leads that? Who's the one that's the catalyst for the others communicating around them? And
who do you think should be leading that?
it's hard to know because, you know, we don't get to see what the characters are like, because that for me is a character trait. That, you know, some players just naturally have that where they talk all game long, and, you know, we always think of, you know, the centre-backs from the past who just speak the whole game, and, you know, playing against them, you just probably have sore ears by the end of the game because they're just shouting all the time. There's no way they can be doing that, because when you're around that, you know, as a centre-back, I know if the person beside me is constantly speaking, I know where they are, I can hear them, they give me information, it encourages me to give them information back. Leicester don't have that. You can see it's a little bit dejected. They just don't have that unity about them, and when you don't have that, it's so hard to defend.
Yeah, I mean, the two of the best I played against was John Terry and Carvalho, and you talked about John Terry never, ever stopped talking. Every single player around him, he was trying to organise that urgency from every defender when they defended. You just didn't see any of that. It's the urgency that bothers me when I've watched Leicester's performance tonight from a defensive aspect. Is it doesn't look like you're alert enough to what's happening, as if there's no thought process, and that has to be a worry as a Leicester fan.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of work to do, isn't there, if they are to survive in the Premier League, which looks like a big, big ask. Let's talk about 2-0. Talk us through how this one came about.
Well, yeah, this wasn't a classic either. I think you see maybe they've worked on a little bit of movement there, Bowen round the front post, and Vardy, you know, he's aware, he checks your shoulder, he does try and win that first ball. It breaks favourably for Bowen, but I say that, he's just hungrier, he's just more alive, and, you know, Vardy then doesn't want to foul him. You see them here, the movement from the collective group of West Ham players, obviously trying to attack that front area. There's an element of misfortune, but this is probably a good angle. You just see here, as it breaks to Bowen, good quick feet. Vardy doesn't want to touch him, but there for me, Vestergaard can close that space a little more. And probably the fact he doesn't do that just means that it bounces unfavourably through his legs, and, you know, the goalkeeper can't quite react and keep it out. How
important has Jarrod Bowen been then for West Ham and in this game as well?
Vital. I mean, you could tell when they missed him with that foot injury how important he is. We can look at his abilities, the dribbling, the goal scoring, the assists, but his work rate off the ball, it's infectious. And if you're the captain as well, that will feed to your teammates, and they miss that when he's not playing. And like I said, he's at an age now where he's really developed his game, and you can tell he holds himself like he knows he's the best player in that team.
He does his talking on the pitch, doesn't he? And here he is talking post-match.
Well, Jarrod, congratulations on that win against Leicester City. It's back-to-back wins in the Premier League for West Ham. Incredibly, for the first time in almost a year. In the end, did that feel like a comfortable victory?
I think when you're holding on to a lead is always difficult, but I think coming into the game we knew we hadn't won back-to-back games all season, so I think that was on our mindset to come and win again. You know, we played well against Arsenal, got a good result, but you know it counted for nothing tonight if we didn't show up and win the game. And you know we don't play now for 12 days, so it was a really good win to win tonight. And then, like I said, don't play for over a week or so. So it was important tonight to win, and we've done that back to back, and you know 2 clean sheets as well. So really good.
Tomas Soucek opens the scoring on his 30th birthday. Let's talk about the second goal, though, because you did a lot of work. They have, unfortunately.
What defender wants an own goal? No defenders want own goals. But no, I thought I just shot at goal and it took a deflection and went in. But you know, I don't think he wants the own goal. So if they want to give it me back, I'm more than happy for him to give it me back.
Is that an official appeal?
Official appeal. I mean, it's 4 yards out, so it's. Yeah, like I said, I don't think defenders want own goals on their CV, and us attackers want goals. So I'm not begging, but a few people can do a few things, get a few angles, because I've seen a few angles, see a couple at half-time. I think that close, I don't think you can give an own goal.
I was going to say, you did all the hard work in the build-up to it, obviously making the run into the box, you know, getting the ball, turning and then taking a shot. How important was the timing of that goal?
Yeah, no, really important. Obviously 1-0 going in at half-time. We knew that they'd have a reaction second half. So to get that 2-goal cushion really stood us in a good way in second half. And again, you know, we wanted to obviously go and score more goals, but ultimately kept a clean sheet, win the game. And we knew that there was going to be a reaction from them. And it was just important for us to manage the game. We had a couple of chances as well to put more goals in. But, you know, we've won 2-0, clean sheet at home. It's a really good night for everyone.
You mentioned the clean sheet a couple of times already. It's 2 straight clean sheets. Does it feel like, you know, with the fact that the manager kept the same starting 11 from the win over Arsenal, that things are starting to come together now?
Yeah, not just the lads that, you know, in the 11. I think everyone's played that, you know, especially against Arsenal. People came on and helped us see the game out. And again, players have done the same again tonight. So, you know, as frustrating as it is for players, you know, not in the starting 11, it's so important for a team that wants to be successful, wants to be a really good side, for everyone to play their part and come in and know their role when they come on the pitch. And that comes from training, you know, training in the positions and working hard every day. And I think we've got the standards really high at the minute at the training ground, and, you know, the performances as well. So we have to keep consistently trying to get better and keep playing like we've done, you know, Saturday and tonight.
And back to winning ways at home must feel pretty good.
Yeah, no, really, really important. We know we've had a few games this season that we haven't been good enough, we haven't turned up, and like I said before the game, there was probably a lot of pressure on us to win the game because people expected us to, but we had to go out there and, you know, the same attitude, the same work rate as we've done against Arsenal, because, you know, it was a different test, but it was a difficult test tonight, and we come away with that with 3 points.
Congratulations, enjoyed the win.
Thank you.
He's such a good talker, isn't he? Always great to hear his interviews, and I like they had a bit of fun with the own goal. Of course, it was given to Vestergaard. Hermansen might have had the touch, but it went down as a Vestergaard own goal in the end.
Yeah, I was at half-time, I said own goal, but I feel bad listening to him there. So when I watch it back, he doesn't actually look up, which I think when you think he's a forward, yeah, he probably has tried to shoot. So I'm feeling bad. I might give him it.
That's right. If you give him it, then that's fine. But what was mentioned was the fact that they have achieved back-to-back clean sheets, and it feels like a really big achievement for this West Ham side.
I think the fact that he's mentioned it's probably been talked about during the recent days, that's an important thing for the team to achieve. This isn't the time to be critical about the performance yet for Graeme Potter's side. I think it was really important they backed up that Arsenal result. They did it in the most efficient way. Not sparkling, but very efficient. They'll be pleased with the positives of the clean sheets and a couple of goals. But there's still a lot to build on for West Ham.
And I think just to pick up on what you're saying about the fact that it was just important that they got the win, also in front of their home fan tonight as well. That's massive for these Hammers fans, isn't it? They want to see victories at home.
Yeah, they do. And, you know, listening to some of the fans before today, off the back of the result of the weekend, you know, there was some thrown around that they thought, you know, tonight could be 3-0, 4-0. And that sometimes for the players makes tonight's fixture a little bit difficult, because the West Ham fans wouldn't have accepted anything less than a win tonight. They're playing Leicester, really poor form, really struggling. They're at home. as players, sometimes it's a difficult fixture to follow up from the win at Arsenal because it's very much
Absolutely.
psychologically a different game.
And the expectations there, isn't it? Because if you can beat Arsenal, of course, with
Yes.
Leicester's form, you'd be expected to beat them.
Exactly. So, really, really good result. And I think that's these two games in quick succession now lead them quite nicely into what can be a really positive period and a little run. I think they'd like to get themselves as far up the table as they can.
So, all round, a good result for the Hammers. Let's hear from their manager, Graeme Potter.
Graeme, congratulations. How did you make that a relatively comfortable night?
Well, I think the first half we were decent in our structure. We drove them back, had good control of the game, didn't have too many big counter-attacks against us, so felt in control, and obviously not easy because they defended with a lot of bodies. But in the end, to go 2-0 up was good for us at half-time. So it was overall a professional performance. Not fantastic in terms of high-level attacking play, but it was one of those nights 5 days after a big day at Arsenal. So for us, we're just delighted with 2 wins, 2 clean sheets, and 6 points.
It's the first time that West Ham have won back-to-back Premier League games since this time last year. For a club like this, it's a long time to wait. Yeah,
it is. We were aware of it for this season, but not for that long. So yeah, obviously delighted for the players. They've been working really hard, and now they've had 2 wins back to back, which isn't easy to do in the Premier League because clearly with our record, that says itself. So we're really happy.
It's your 7th Premier League game in charge here. There's a lot of talent. Does it feel like there's so much more that you've got to bring out of this squad?
Well, there's a lot of potential for sure. I think talent is one thing. You have to be a team. You have to put in the work. The foundations have to be good. That's what we've been working on a lot, and I think hopefully they're getting the rewards for that because I don't think talent's enough in this league. There's a lot of talented players. There's a lot of talented teams. You have to keep clean sheets. You have to defend well. You have to do the ugly side of the game as well. And I think the players have done that, and they've got the reward.
The birthday boy, Tomas Soucek, who scored the opening goal, said that you've got to give them some time off now. You've got 11 days until your next game. Can you grant him his wish?
Well, they got a couple of days off, over the weekend, so they're pressuring me for more, but I'm standing firm at the moment.
Graeme, thank you. Congratulations tonight.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
So they have a couple of days off. He can celebrate.
Perfect.
Brilliant. Perfect. And actually, we've been talking about how important the victory was for the fans and for the players, but also for Graeme Potter.
Yeah, it's a stressful job being a manager, and
I don't envy them.
No. And he's the type of manager who has a structure. He wants his teams to play a certain way. He's got principles that he asks of the players, and he's not managed to find that consistency yet. And I think that's something he will be really demanding from the players. That can today be that point where they've set a bar now, 2 wins in a row, 2 good performances, 2 different performances. How can they keep that going?
So West Ham get to celebrate and just get to relax over the weekend a little bit after back-to-back wins. But for Leicester City, it's a totally different story. Talk to us about where it went wrong for them, what was bad, and whether you think that this can be worked on at all, Dean.
I think if you're a Leicester supporter, you want to see hope, and the issue is when you see, let's just think about the quality, and these clips will show how little of it they've had. And when you see these sorts of moments, you realise there's no confidence in the side, Rachel, isn't it? And it's just so obvious there's no connection.
Yeah, some of these moments, it's a lack of confidence for sure, but there's a lack of understanding between players. There's, this one here just is about quality in terms of the actual final delivery. I actually think what he's looking to do when things aren't going in your favour, you've 2 players in the box against 6 defenders. I don't know that that's, in that case, the right option. Can you look to work something that's going to lead to something with a little bit of a higher chance of creating a goal-scoring opportunity? But yeah, a real lack of quality. And there were simple passes there. And for some reason, decision-making, the execution of simple things starts to go, and that can happen when you're low in confidence and you just have no rhythm.
There was a real mix of just simply the players not being good enough in the decisions that they've made and the execution, but then does it look as if they're playing with a purpose and an understanding what the manager wants? Did we watch that game and go, right, definitely they're a defensive side that then burst forward with real pace on the counter-attack? Not really. Are they a side that's going to go and press hard? No. You know, I'm not seeing the fullbacks flying forward, and that's where they're getting the attacking play from. I'm not seeing anything yet that I go, I can really understand what Ruud van Nistelrooy is trying to do with this side to keep them in the Premier League. It feels a little bit like they're just bumbling along, no confidence. And where's that gonna come from? It's a pretty damning start to his managerial role at Leicester.
I think I feel for him, or I worry for him, because I was at the Wolves game in December, I was at the Palace game in January, and I would have said in both those games there was a bit about them going forward. There was large spells where they controlled the game. They did create chances. James Justin was almost probably the player with the most touches in the opposition box. They did have that sort of attacking football, creative football. There was a bit of cohesion, you know, they did go down the sides, they got balls in. That feels like it's gone in the last 2 games I've seen them now play, and that's a worrying sign.
Why do you think that is?
You'd have to imagine it's just the impact of losing so many games in a row, not scoring goals in so many games in a row. You know, that lack of home form has now made it almost feel, I'm sure there's some players who actually dread home games, because at least when you go away from home, there feels like there's slightly less pressure. All of these things add up. I think it's probably not, you know, a one solution. It's a tough time.
It is, as you just saw, 3 points from a possible 36. Tough times for Leicester City. Let's hear from their manager, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Ruud, that's now 4 Premier League defeats in a row. What's the most disappointing part about the manner of the goals you conceded?
No, I think the goals you concede are easy goals, and it's a reflection of how we played in the first half. If you see the difference in the first and the second half, how we as a team move forward to press the opponent, how we play forward with urgency after winning many duels, many balls, many second balls, play forward. And in the first half we were waiting way too much. We have to put also the opponent under pressure in the right moments, in the right way. And the back line dropped way too deep. The midfielders went along with them, and the forwards wanted to press, but they didn't have the support, so we were pushed back and back and back. Yeah, then you don't get any initiative in the game. And then you concede also these easy goals, and you give yourself a big problem. And the second half, the players go and the forwards press, and the midfielders and the defenders follow in. And West Ham were, of course, 2-0 up, but they didn't have a shot on target, and that's a disappointing bit for me.
We just spoke to James Justin as well, and he said there wasn't enough intensity. They didn't play with enough intensity in the first half. Why was that?
No, it's more like because we were waiting. We were way too passive. We were like, of course, we're in a situation where we're not winning games, and we're in a situation where we are in the bottom 3, and the pressure's on. But I think the way to get out of this is to literally move forward on the pitch as well. So it doesn't mean you have to go and press in a 1v1 situation, but we have to take initiative also moving forward and putting the opponent under pressure. We cannot wait and sit back, and I think that is the situation we're in. And when they showed what they have to also feel what they are capable of in the second half, and what the difference is.
It's another game though without scoring. Can you try anything differently?
No, but of course, if you play like this in the first half, you're not going to score. We're not even close scoring. And the second half, we were much closer to score. At least you give yourself an opportunity. We're higher on the pitch. We win balls higher on the pitch, and you get second balls and crosses and corners and free kicks. So at least you give yourself an opportunity to score.
How do you keep the hopes alive, Ruud?
Yeah, you know, by believing in work, in turning this around, by literally moving forward, not sitting back. That is what we need to do.
Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. Take care.
Well, they certainly don't really have a moment to sit back, do they? And they have to think ahead because they do have some really tough fixtures to come, and it doesn't really get much tougher than what we're seeing there. Chelsea away from home, Manchester United at home, Ruud's former club, Manchester City away, Newcastle at home, Brighton away, who are in great form as well, and then Liverpool at home.
It's enough to turn your stomach as a Leicester fan, isn't it? When you think you've got those fixtures coming up and you've just seen a performance like that, a team like West Ham who are still in a bit of transition, and it's maybe an opportunity. The biggest issue when you're in a Premier League relegation battle is you're going to lose more games than you win. How can you, as a manager and the staff and the players, try and forget defeats as quickly as you can and focus on the next game and lift the players, because they'll all come in the next day. Everybody's down. It's the team that can still keep a character within the squad. Look at the next fixture. Can we pick up points? Still have some life about you, which you're just seeing it ebb away from. Even Ruud van Nistelrooy even looks a bit defeated in his manner in the interviews. The players will watch the interviews, and even he's almost searching for what he's got to try and do.
You really learn about the characters in this dressing room, and we will do over these next 6 fixtures.
We will. I think the Man United one is probably the only one I see as an extra edge to it.
OK, well, thank you for your company. Thank you for yours. Leicester dealt a hammer blow as West Ham take all 3.
Joe Cole and Neil Lennon watching along with me. What about the Leicester performance tonight then, Neil? Did it feel at times like they're throwing in the towel?
Yeah, very much so. I hate to say that about any group of players, but it's really hard, Lindsay, to make a case for them tonight on what we've seen. You know, West Ham didn't have to be at anywhere near their best to win the game comfortably. I thought the first half they were very passive. They made a little bit of a fist of it second half, but zero quality, zero belief in what they were doing, and the game just seemed to pass them by.
It did feel, as Neil was saying, that West Ham didn't have to be at their best, Joe, tonight.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. Nailed it. West Ham didn't have to be at their best because Leicester were really, really poor, you know, in every aspect of the game. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But you not worry for them. I think they're gone. I think them and Southampton are gone. I think just how do you get these players to show some kind of spark from now to the end of the season? And, you know, we sat next to the Leicester fans who've travelled down here on a Thursday night. You know, probably all got to go to work. That's your motivation. That's if you're Ruud, you go, listen, whatever happens, you got to do it for them. They're the ones who are paying the wages.
Well done. Jarrod Bowen just
Captain.
coming out for a chat with us. The guys were just saying, Jarrod, that it felt like West Ham didn't have to play at your best tonight. How comfortable did it feel for you out there?
I wouldn't want to say comfortable because, you know, we know it was at 2-0. It's still a difficult scoreline to manage. We knew they'd have a reaction second half, and, you know, as much as you want to, especially as an attacker, you want to go out and score 3 or 4. You know, you've got a job without the ball as well to keep a clean sheet. Ultimately, that's 2 clean sheets in a row. 2 really difficult games that we've had, but different as well in the same thing. I think I spoke to Coley in the week and said there was a lot of pressure on us to come here and win tonight. And, you know, as a group, we haven't won back-to-back all season. And, you know, that's not good enough from us. And we knew that coming into tonight, we not had to win, but we had to back up the performance that we've done against Arsenal tonight. And we've managed to do that.
And it's going to be a nice birthday celebration for 2 of your teammates tonight after that, I'm sure.
Yeah, Tom with a goal, Fons with a clean sheet. So, yeah, but when I see it earlier, they both got a birthday on the same day. I thought, yeah, this is a bit strange. But no, for them, it was really good. Obviously, Fons keeping a clean sheet. Didn't have really loads to do, but still had to stay in the game as well. You know, when we were playing out from the back, it was important. I think he had one that I thought he was going to, when it got stuck under his feet, and I thought it was going to trickle in. But Tom as well, getting into the box and scoring and getting his goal. And yeah, everyone tonight really played their part.
You were go on, Joe.
No, it did feel comfortable to watch for you in the terms because you played well. He's picked the same team from Arsenal. And how was that having that little bit of stability from the Arsenal game to now? And like you said, back-to-back wins. And can you? Where do you want to go now for the rest of the season?
I think this season, if we're being honest, we haven't consistently been at a level. You know, we've had one, like I just said, we haven't won back-to-back, and you know that's probably because we've had one really good result, really good performance, and not followed it up in the next week for whatever reason. So, you know, like I said, going to Arsenal, winning there, having a really good performance, coming here tonight, we had to do exactly the same. It was the same mindset, the same. the same energy about it. Regardless of Leicester's league position, we knew it was going to be a difficult game because, like I said, there was a different expectation on us. So it was about us managing that and going out and doing a professional job. And I think we've done that really well. Like I said, I think we controlled with the ball well. I thought we pressed without the ball at good times as well, created a couple of chances, and in the end, 2-0 win. It's a good win.
And you look like you're enjoying it centrally as well with Kudos. That looked very dangerous when you two were playing close with each other.
Yeah, no, and it's as an attacker playing a bit more as a 9, you're closer in the box, you're closer for transitions. I think that's a really big thing for the manager. Me and Mo playing close together, as soon as we win the ball back, it's we're firing away, and we've managed to do that. And like I said, kept the same team, kept the same shape and structure. And like I said, I think we've really took to it, the players, and 2 really good performances, because we don't play now for 12 days or something. So if it's like going into an international break. If you lose that game for international break, it's a long 12 days before the next one. So we know now that we can enjoy training, and then look forward to our next game, which is another tough test.
Enjoy a few days off as well. You're on the gaffer.
We've tried it in there, but he ain't budging. I'm hoping for a Texas evening.
Tough man.
You'll have to keep working on it. That second goal, Jarrod, as well. It's gone down.
Off me,
It's gone
We
down.
wour best to
Yeah, we're doing our best, mate. We'll send a few clips in.
Now I said, what defender wants an own goal on there, and an attacker wants it. I thought, I'm 4 yards out. Got to give it me, ain't you? But
it's very much down to you, though. You can take that.
Counts for nothing, does it? It's an own goal on the thing, but close.
This is a better.
I think from there, I think I'm just trying to hit it at goal.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, he's stood in line.
Did you feel it was on target?
You've done brilliantly, by the way.
That's his goal. Come on.
You were saying before the show,
like
every time I watch you play for West Ham, you do something in the game that makes you stand up. How are you feeling physically now after the injury?
Yeah, feel really good. I think that was my third 90 minutes since being back injured. And obviously, when you're injured, as much as you say to yourself, you're running around, I feel fit. There's nothing compares to a game. Yeah, so I've had some really good minutes, and I think a couple of the games we played Chelsea, we had like a 10-day break, which was really good. And then again tonight, there's a lot of time to rest in between as well. But I feel good out there. I feel in a really good place. Scored a couple of goals with Chelsea Arsenal, not tonight now, that's been taken off me, but hopefully by about 11 o'clock tonight they change their mind and give it back to me. But no, that's probably the only disappointing thing I've got tonight. As an attacker, you want the goals and you want the things, but in the end, if it's not a goal, it's not a goal.
Nothing to be disappointed about tonight, Jarrod, I'm sure. The England squad as well, Thomas Tuchel's first is going to be announced in a couple of weeks' time as well. How do you feel about being involved in that? And you can't really do much more to keep yourself in that conversation.
Yeah, no, of course it's an exciting time. The new managers come in. There's obviously not been an international camp since November, so it's been a long time, and sometimes that's a good thing. You're getting a really good place, a really good playing week in, week out, enjoying your football. I think that's all I'm trying to do. Since I got the injury, obviously injuries are part and parcel of football. They come, but I think for me it was just making sure I worked as hard as I possibly could to get back and help the team, and then when I'm out there, just do what I know that I can do, and then if that takes me to a national call up, that takes me to a national call up. If not, I'll keep doing exactly what I'm doing, and keep trying every single time. I think it's one of those that it's always there, because you're always playing for your country is an honour, but if it doesn't come, it doesn't come, but if it does, it's brilliant.
And Tomas was saying at the end as well how nice it would be to finish above Spurs, because you're level on points with them now. Is that a big target for everyone in the dressing room?
I think for us, our season hasn't gone the way that we've wanted it. So I think for us now, it's like I just said about consistently playing well, and winning games, and letting the table take care of itself. Because like I said, I think we're down in 16th before the game started tonight. So for a club like this and where we've been, it's not the standards that we've set ourselves over the last few years. So, but I've said to Coley in the week, there's a real good end to the season coming up. 10, 11 games left, a lot of football to be played, a lot of points to be picked up. So I think for us, it's continue working with the manager, learning off the manager, and putting in performances like we've done, Saturday and tonight.
Well done on the win tonight.
Well
hope you get a couple of days off.
Well done, Jarrod.
Congratulations. Jarrod Bowen there. Captain of this team, very much the leader and the talisman. He didn't get the goal. That's the only disappointing thing for him, but very much involved in that victory for the Hammers. And we can hear from his boss now, because Graeme Potter is with Jules Breach.
Graeme, congratulations. How did you make that a relatively comfortable night?
Well, I think the first half we were decent in our structure. We drove them back. had good control of the game, didn't have too many big counter-attacks against us, so felt in control, and obviously not easy because they defended with a lot of bodies. But in the end, to go 2-0 up was good for us at half-time. So it was overall a professional performance. Not fantastic in terms of high-level attacking play, but it was one of those nights 5 days after a big day at Arsenal. So for us, we're just delighted with 2 wins, 2 clean sheets, and 6 points.
It's the first time that West Ham have won back-to-back Premier League games since this time last year. For a club like this, it's a long time to wait. Yeah,
it is. We were aware of it for this season, but not for that long. So yeah, obviously delighted for the players. They've been working really hard, and now they've had 2 wins back to back, which isn't easy to do in the Premier League because clearly with our record, that says itself. So we're really happy. It's your 7th Premier League game in charge here. There's a lot of talent. Does it feel like there's so much more that you've got to bring out of this squad? Well, there's a lot of potential for sure. I think talent is one thing. You have to be a team. You have to put in the work. The foundations have to be good. That's what we've been working on a lot, and I think hopefully they're getting the rewards for that because I don't think talent's enough in this league. There's a lot of talented players. There's a lot of talented teams. You have to keep clean sheets. You have to defend well. You have to do the ugly side of the game as well. And I think the players have done that, and they've got the reward. The birthday boy, Tomas Soucek, who scored the opening goal, said that you've got to give them some time off now. You've got 11 days until your next game. Can you grant him his wish? Well, they got a couple of days off, over the weekend, so they're pressuring me for more, but I'm standing firm at the moment. Graeme, thank you. Congratulations tonight. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
A couple of days, is that enough, Neil?
I've been looking at 5 days in Dubai or something like that this time of year.
The thing is now the lads, when they get days off, they're straight on the Sky Planner for flights, aren't they? 3 or 4 days. He knows that. He's not silly.
What do you think of the environment he's already trying to create here? It feels like he's building a real spirit already.
Yeah, he did like the more I look at him, on the bench there as a West Ham manager and where the club is, I think it's the perfect fit. I really do. Perfect fit because of how he is, how he's composed, he's measured tactically. We've seen what he's done with Brighton and Swansea, and I think he'll be a much better manager from his experience at Chelsea. What happened at Chelsea could have happened to any manager. To go in there, that was carnage. Let's be honest. What was going on there at the time. He's settled down a little bit now, but I think he's come out there unscathed. Perfect job for him. Young players to work with. And players he knows. I think as long as the club, and I say it with every manager, Lenny, I say as long as the people buying the players allow the manager, Graeme Potter, and his staff to be the ones that have the final say on who comes through the door, you've got half a chance.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think he's a very good manager. I think he did really well throughout his career. He's a lateral thinker sometimes when it comes to the game. He's flexible with his, formations. I think he's a good man manager. It's early days, fledgling days in his West Ham career, but I think Joe's right. I think he'd be a better manager for the experience. You all get experiences, Lindsay, good ones and bad ones. He's had good ones, he's had a bad one at Chelsea, but you learn from it. He's had 18 months out of the game and he's fresh and he's bringing a different vibe to West Ham, which was badly needed.
Yeah, absolutely. And he waited as well, didn't he,
for
the right opportunity. So he obviously felt it was the right fit for him. He just needs a bit of consistency now, but building a bit of momentum with back-to-back victories for the Hammers. It is another defeat, though, at times, to things you were saying when we watched Southampton at Chelsea on Tuesday night. Did you see similar characteristics between the two teams?
Yeah, there's a lot of good players on both the Southampton side and Leicester side, but the way that they've been dreadful, both of them, and they're going towards a championship. And you look at this, and I'm purposely not asked the guys to not put any names on it because it's not personal, right? But when you let a player run past you like that, the basics in the game, all the things that require no talent, the intensity, go with runners. And again, this was the 4th goal at Chelsea, again, a team, and that's, you will let this run through, but you cannot allow these things to happen, and these things happen consistently with the teams around the bottom. People ask me, why are they down the bottom? What's the difference between them and, let's say, an Everton? This doesn't happen under David Moyes' watch at Goodison Park, where look at the strolling in, letting a left-back take a touch, pick his spot and put it in. And that was happening far too often in previous weeks, or all season really, in both of these clubs. And it's not personal, but I think if I'm a player in these dressing rooms, their agents will be going, you know, what we're doing for next year. People are watching, and they're watching football people watching in moments like that. What is your character like when things are going wrong? Are you going to let that player run past you, or are you going to dig in, go out to him, get tight when you're 3-0 down? Are you going to receive the ball? And these are the moments that these players in these squads need to understand that you have to do that right. And it's not personal who it is, but these both Southampton and Leicester, who are both gone, in my opinion, they have to do that right from now to the end of the season for their own personal pride.
I was going to say, because you said it wouldn't happen under David Moyes, but does that have to come
That's
from the
an
manager?
example.
Should the players have to be told to fight, to work for the shirt?
It's called desire. You know, we hear Roy Keane talk about it a lot, and we can talk about the tactical side of the game all day long, Lindsay. But if you're not prepared to be aggressive, Ruud was talking about after the game that they weren't high enough up the pitch in the first half. You know, why? You know, they got to be a lot braver. You know, they got to stop thinking negatively. But the word for me was passive. They were soft, non-aggressive, and with and without the ball. And it was a really bland performance, Joe, from a team that should be fighting for their professional pride, personal pride, and for the pride of the club as well. I didn't see any of that tonight. I can't remember a foul in the game, or, you know, a challenge or something to spark Leicester into life. And it was all too bland. And it was the same on Friday night as well. They've got to change. Ruud's got to find solutions. I don't know how he does it at the minute with this group of players, but something has to come from within.
Is he the right man for a championship rebuild, which is where
That's
looks like
a completely different story. Like, I wouldn't, if I'm Ruud van Nistelrooy Leicester, I'm not, forget about that. You've got to follow. I don't know how you motivate a player other than, because then players are gonna have to sit there tomorrow morning and watch that video, and I'll be clipping it up, and you just let it resonate with them, and just say to them, lads, listen, you know, I can accept you tripping over the ball, missing a chance. I can accept you passing it out of play. I can't accept this. If you can accept this, come and knock on the door. I'll shake your hand and we'll help you move on to wherever you want to go. Because I will not tolerate them type of things at this club. I don't care. And you got to play on their pride. You know, your family are watching you. Anything that can just burst them into life. They look flat. Both teams all the teams at the bottom, they look flat. And you've got to find a way of instilling that energy and passion and aggression into them.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, bland and flat. They're not the words you want to hear about.